Hey guys, what's up? I have a new TV series. It's called Sega Vision. I downloaded these the PDF files. I used to read this magazine when I was a kid. This was a free video game magazine which was offered by Sega. This magazine came out right when the Sega Genesis came out in North America. So anyway, here we have Golden Axe, Michael Jackson, Ghostbusters, Fantasy Stars, Shinobi, Spider-Man, and Joe Montana. Now at the time, Joe Montana didn't have the his team logo on his helmet. That's because they didn't Sega didn't sign the NFL license, so they pretty much just got the signed Joe Montana. And a lot of times when they did sports games, they would call New England's football team or something, which is the New England Patriots, and they would just make their jerseys white or blue because the Patriots have different jerseys compared when this magazine was out. But anyway, um, oops, here we go. Um, here's one of the reasons why I went with the Sega Genesis over the TurboGrafx 16. I was debating which system I wanted. Now, here's a few things. One, Sega was known in the arcades, so I was going to get the Sega ports for the Sega Genesis. Funny thing is that the TurboGrafx got the first Shinobi, uh, Outrun, and Afterburner, and those were all beta ports on the TurboGrafx, believe it or not. And the Sega Genesis was $189.99. It was $10 cheaper. Kind of factored that people would probably go with the Sega Genesis because it was $10 cheaper. And also, I wanted 3 buttons on the controller coming off of the Nintendo, which was 2 buttons. There were some things I didn't like about the 2 button layout. Sometimes, like Double Dragon, if you want to do a certain move, you had to hold down both buttons. I prefer to have more buttons on the controller. And actually, I felt after playing the Sega Genesis, I actually felt that it actually improved video gaming on consoles. Here's some contents. Meet Michael Katz, Game Doctor, bunch of other stuff. So you guys may want to watch this in HD. Air Air Diver. I think I might have remember seeing this in the video store. And this contents. Uh, Looks like it's a timeout or some type of. Oh, okay. This is like an arcade. It's like a coupon for an arcade or something like that. So it looks like Sega was trying to market, bring in coupons, go to the arcade, and play some games. And I'm going to leave a link in the description box so you guys can download all these Sega Visions, and they'll be in PDF. Now keep in mind that there are 2 missing issues, so if anybody has those 2 missing issues, please contact me. Now, this is the Sega Master System. A lot of us know about the Sega Master System. And the Sega Master System didn't take off that well in North America. However, it took off. It took off. I mean, I knew a few people that had the Sega Master System, and they swore that the graphics were better on the Sega Master System. Now, I have to agree with that because I played some Sega Master System games on the emulators, and it is a much better system. However, I do kind of sometimes feel that the NES had better audio where the Master System had better graphics. Game Doctor, the Game Wizard, I guess you call this number and they help you out. Mailbox. It's kind of like a big deal about the Michael Jackson game coming out at the time. It was like right around when the Bad album was out. Spider-Man. There was a Spider-Man version on Sega CD, which they kind of like put a cartoon in there. Golden Axe was pretty popular back in the day. I heard the new one is kind of like not bad, not great, but whatever. Now I have to admit, I believe this is the Sega Master System version. I don't think the Sega Master System one was that good, but the Genesis one was good. California Games, never played it. Reggie Jackson's Baseball, never played it. It almost seems like they had Star Fox before Nintendo. And here's a little comic book. I'm not going to read it out to you guys, but it looks like the Thing a little bit from the Fantastic Four. Alex Kidd, Shinobi. Now I gotta tell you a story about Shinobi. I really wanted to get Shinobi when I was a kid, but when I got my Sega Genesis, Shinobi was all sold out, and I like I had like 40 or maybe $50 from Christmas money, and now I was fiending for another game because I beat Ultra Beast. It wasn't that hard. Um, Probably the second boss in Ultra Beast is probably the easiest boss in video game history. I really wanted Shinobi, so I went to Leechmere and I picked up Last Battle, which was it was good. It wasn't the greatest game in the world, but that's what I got. And for my birthday, I got Shinobi. Now, this version, when Shinobi first came out, they put Spider-Man and Batman in there as bosses, and I think they got a cease and desist letter from both companies, Marvel and DC. And I think they were maybe able to keep Spider-Man because they signed Spider-Man to be in future Sega games that Sega was working on. But I know they did take out Batman. Truxton, kid down the street had Truxton. It was a pretty good game. I really did enjoy it when it was out. But it does have a little bit of a weird layout. As you can see, the menu is weird and it makes the picture kind of smaller. Phantasy Star, never really got into Phantasy Star. Never played it. I feel like I should. I'll probably be playing a few on the iPhone soon. Never played this game. Genesis does, everybody knows Genesis does. Nintendo don't. It's 16-bit and so on and so on. Tommy LaRusso, baseball, never played it. Spider-Man, played a little bit of it. I don't think I was that big of a fan of it just because I felt Shinobi was, the shit, kind of. Pat Riley's basketball, never played it. Michael Jackson, it wasn't that great for me. Tom Arnold, tournament golf, never played it. Joe Montana, football. Football at the time was kind of experimental, until John Madden came out. And I do prefer the 2K or the Sega football for the Dreamcast, that series. But I never really played the Joe Montana. And, some people like Tecmo Ball, some people like Sega, some people like Madden. James Buster Douglas, King Knockout. I had this game, I really liked it. I think in the arcade it had a different name to the game. I think it was pretty much maybe it was made by Sega or Sega ported it from another company, and they just changed the name Buster Douglas. And it was a pretty big deal to get Buster Douglas at the time because he knocked Mike Tyson out. Now there is a character in there called King Jason, so that was the character I always played as, King Jason. Nintendo don't. Sega signs Joe Montana. This was a big deal. Joe Montana is probably considered to be the Michael Jordan of football. So it was a pretty big deal that he was exclusive to Sega. I remember this offer. Like if you bought some games and you can get a converter to play Master System games, you get some free games. Sega was really running a lot of specials the first year. And I was kind of bummed out because I got my Genesis when it was launched. I was like, oh, if I only waited, I could have got like 2 more free games or something. But, it was fun having it first before everybody else, the experience. Ghostbusters coming out for Moonwalker. And here we have, there's like a coupon for KB Toys. And KB Toys was really like one of the bigger retailers at the time, back in the 90s and the 80s, for toys. And they were one of the places you really went to go get video games before EB came along. And then EB um, pretty much demolished KB Toys. And at the time, EB had really liberal policies about returning games. If you didn't like a game, you could return it and get another one or get your money back. And I think in the state of California, they said that was illegal because they would shrink wrap it and sell it as new. I don't know who was the idiot who complained about that, but I never complained. And if they were doing that for me, I didn't mind buying a game that was like previously played. And if I picked it up for myself, I like the guarantee. If I didn't like the game, I could return it and get something else. So here we have Shinobi. I don't know who this guy. I think these were cards you could cut out. She's probably Fancy Star, Alex Kidd, uh, Axe Battler, um, Kabut, Kabuto. He's from Shinobi, Ripin Rick, and Redo. Maybe that's Alien Storm. Retromags.com. It looks like the lettering that's used in Mario. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'll make another video with the other magazine and try to go through memory lane. So once again, guys, mp4podcast.com. I just want to say that this series was inspired from Gamester81 from his NEStalgiaholic channel, and I'm going to leave a link to his channel. And if you want to take a memory lane down through Nintendo Power, check out his channel. So once again, guys, mp4podcast.com. Signing off. You guys take care. Later, guys. Bye.